Good evening. Hello, everyone. On behalf of Team Avatar and myavatar.com, I welcome you to the 19th day of our month-long celebrations, the Diversity Mahotsav 2021. My name is Sri Devi, and I will be your host for today. As we start, here are a few hygiene checks for a seamless virtual experience. Please close all other applications on your computer and log out from your organization's VPN to conserve internet bandwidth. Once again, extremely thrilled and delighted to welcome you all to the 19th day of Diversity Mahotsav. What is Diversity Mahotsav all about? We are celebrating diversity, celebrating you. Diversity Mahotsav is presented by myavatar.com, India's only diversity portal with jobs, events, skilling programs, webinars, and more for all the underrepresented groups at the workplace. For those of you who've joined us today, we are delighted to have you on board. We hope you would join us through this month for some riveting sessions and loads of learning. We would like to thank our partners for Diversity Mahotsav 2021. Ideology partners, Cognizant, HCL Technologies Limited, and Strive. Supporting partners, Asia India Private Limited, Logitech Engineering and Designs India Private Limited, Saint Gobain India Private Limited, Sodexo and Zorian Solutions, and community partner NASCOM. Our social media hashtags are hashtag Diversity Mahotsav, hashtag Celebrating Diversity. We look forward to you posting your experience at Diversity Mahotsav on your social media handles using these hashtags. Yesterday, in the 18th edition of Soundbites, we heard from Dr. Soundarya Rajesh, founder-president at Avatar Group, explain the ways in which one can actually measure inclusion. From the definition of what inclusion is to the number of diverse profiles that an employer receives, and last but not the least, employee engagements. We heard it all from her. Let's begin our 19th day with the 19th edition of Soundbites, a series where our founder president, Dr. Soundarya Rajesh, clarifies some of the pertinent questions that she has been addressing on various aspects on diversity, equity, and inclusion in her 21 years career of being the subject matter expert in DEI. Dr. Soundarya is an award-winning pioneer in this field as she explains the importance of equitable workspaces. Her work in this space of DEI is unparalleled in the country. Dr. Soundarya Rajesh, a social entrepreneur who won several accolades and awards such as the 100 Women Achiever from Government of India, Web Wonder Women by Twitter and Ministry of Women and Child Welfare, Winds of Change 2019 Award by the Forum of Inclusion at Minnesota, Women Transforming India Award, Golden Aviator Award, Asia's Most Innovative Diversity and Inclusive Leader Award, and so on, was once a second career woman who acted against the inequalities posed by the corporate world in recruiting women candidates on a career break. An inexorable advocate of the potential of women's workforce participation, Dr. Soundarya is the advisor of choice for an impressive list of organizations and leaders on the benefits of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Today, in the 19th edition of Soundbites, we will have Dr. Soundarya explaining us on who are the people that are actually responsible for ensuring inclusion in an organization. Over to you, Dr. Soundarya.
Every single individual in the organization is responsible. It is important for the diversity, equity, and inclusion culture to be driven by everybody within a company. Identify change makers within your organization who have that power and capability to influence opinions. Set up a dedicated D&I council or committee that will actually come up with an action plan that has to be implemented, and train every single individual in the organization to be sensitive of what it means to be a diverse, equitable, and inclusive organization.
Thank you so much, Dr. Soundarya, for that insightful explanation that would enable organizations to keep a measurable check on their DEI initiatives. Today, in our skilling workshop segment, we will be talking about emotions. Suganya Raman, Site HR Business Partner, Flex India, will deliver a workshop on how our emotions speak volumes across diversity strands. Suganya Raman is a professional with over 15 years of experience in the areas of talent development and management, global project management, organizational effectiveness, employee engagement, CSER, PWD, and diversity and inclusion. Passionate about service to society and inclusiveness activities, Suganya is a motivational speaker creating career intentionality in underprivileged girl students. With her immense and varied experience in this field, I'm sure it is going to be a session with a lot of insight and learning for all. Over to you, Suganya.
Thank you so much for the introduction. And with no further delay, let's get into the topic for today. And let me share my screen. Emotions speak volumes. I wanted to ask all of you, can emotions speak volumes? Because many times, no, I'm sure you would have seen this phrase, silence speaks volume. Yeah, silence speaks volumes. So what is it about? Even if somebody is not talking, from their body language itself, you can understand what is that person is going through, or what is that person is actually feeling, or what the person wants to convey, right? So today in this webinar, we'll be discussing about the different emotions and how these emotions drive our actions and that actually speak volumes. Okay, so let's go ahead. And this particular scenario, okay, so this happened to one of my colleague or one of my trainees, okay. So this person came to me and shared this thing with me, okay. So she was promoted very recently, and this was announced to all the team members, okay. So this is absolutely not from a current organization, from a different company, but one of my trainees, okay. So this person told me, you know what, Sukanya, this happened after the announcement, okay. So I was very happy to share with everything. I was collaborating, and this happened suddenly. One person said, yeah, she is promoted, and I know how she's been promoted. And I was like, what? And I really wanted to understand what the person is intended to convey. Okay, so I tried to confront, but then it was so embarrassing for me that I didn't want to. Okay, so I refrained myself. But then I was kept thinking like what others would have thought. So I asked, so what did you make to think this particular incident in a very negative way? Because this person told, you know what, how was the person's facial expression? That guy's, especially the guy's body language. Okay, so it was not that positive. When he mentioned, I know how she got the promotion, you know, so I was like, what? Is it trying to like demean, or is it trying to slut shame that I didn't put in any efforts or something, and just because of my gender I've received the promotion or something? Is it trying to discriminate me in that way? So I had this in my mind, you know, it was so depressing. And one day I thought of going to that person, and I wanted to discuss this out. Okay, and now let's quickly look at this scenario. This person went through something, okay, that impacted her. She had these feelings developed. The reason is that immediate impact it created and the emotions that she had at that moment, okay. And with that emotions, she had a very strong intuition that it is discrimination. This person is not genuine. The reason, because the nonverbal communication was not so supportive, okay. This person went and confronted and discussed that, hey, if you do not know how I've got the promotion or something, Again, I don't need to prove you that, hey, these metrics is and this is what happened. But then if you are thinking just because of my gender, I've got this, then you are insulting our company's culture, the integrity and everything. Okay. And with this itself, if you continue to do the same thing, you know what I would do? I'm going to report this. Okay. I think some are the other side, so not similar experience, but we've also been into the same thing, right? It is again not women versus men. This could be even women versus women also, even men versus men also. So what's happening is when somebody is growing in the organization or some successful quick wins, anything, if another person is feeling insecure, they try to put us down. And that actually a lot of emotion. We also get into the roller coaster and we don't know what we are going through. After some time, we understand that that's hurting us, right? So emotions that play a major role in understanding how we are feeling at that moment, the heat of the moment, and what do we do after that? Are we fighting it out, or are we being assertive, or are we keeping quiet in a very positive way? Let's see. So how do we react? So especially the way we react, that actually shows, that actually defines who we are. Some people, they just collapse and they just lose their confidence. They tend to be in silence mode. They tend to isolate themselves. They don't even continue to talk to that person anymore. And there are few, so they actually lash out in anger. They just burst out and they just give it straight to the person and then they close it. But then what's happening after that, they may regret that, hey, I shouldn't have behaved, at least in front of so many people that way. At least I shouldn't have behaved emotionally. Maybe could have been silent for some time. Yeah. And then I could have taken some time to do my homework and then go talk to that person. So maybe, right? We are all emotions. Again, there are no right or wrong answers. And also in that heat of the moment, nobody takes a minute and say, hey, wait, okay, so I'm going to make some discussions and I'm going to have some self-talk and I'll come back to you with my reflections and then I'll continue. No, nobody going to wait. The time will not pause for you. And there are few people who are emotionally intelligent, or at least who are like practicing emotions or knowing emotions or making the absolute use of emotions. They handle it very well by doing self-medications, or otherwise they also check, okay, so what's the situation? Should I be even reacting, or I can simply ignore? So we make the decisions, right? But then we react. We react in that situation. We don't simply sit like a stone and watch people doing things around us. We don't do that. After all, we are all human beings. We tend to react. So be emotionally intelligent. That's very, very important for us to handle different situations, not only in work-life situations, even in personal life situation, with your own capacity, be it as a student, okay, or a working mom, no, or a stay-home mom, yeah, or a single woman, yeah, or a working male, okay, or even an LGBTQ member. So how do we understand what are our emotions, especially how do we feel in a heat of the moment or in a pressing situation or in a demanding situation? How do we feel and how do we react after that? What actually triggers and decides our reactions? So for that, we need to have some skills. And again, I'm telling you, this session is not a workshop or something. However, I'll be introducing the basic concepts. However, I'll be discussing more about how do you apply it with some real-time examples. Yeah, here we go with the basic concepts. So what is emotional intelligence all about? Again, it's a technology-driven world. You don't want me to tell you what is it and that, all that. You go Google and just type it, you would get the definitions. But as your facilitator or a speaker, I want to put it in this way. So emotional intelligence, it refers to our capacity. I'm so sorry. It refers to our capacity, yeah, in terms of how do we manage our emotions and we handle the relationship, and most importantly, understand your own emotions. That's very, very important, people. Yeah, I would like to just a minute. Yeah, I would like to tell you that it's more important for each and every individual to understand your own emotions with your own capacity. Because as a woman, no, you take different roles with the same capacity. You play different roles, especially with the work from home concept or something. No, morning, say 6 o'clock to 8 or 6 to 9, you are a mom handling all the household chores, cooking, and everything. And then from 9, your sleeves up and you are working, right? And 9 to 6, you are an employee in an organization. In between breaks, you manage lunch and all that for your family. And after 6, you even manage your children. So that's how you work. Yeah. So your own capacity with the roles that you manage, you have different emotions, say time to time. You don't have at times, no. I personally felt that I don't have the same emotion after 30 minutes, because there could be something else happen, some Q&A activity, some priority, or somebody would have visited a guest or somebody at the gate, so I'll have to go talk to them. And in few minutes, the emotions are changed. I'm not the same person feeling the same thing, right? So how do we handle interpersonal relationships in a very healthy way, even in our personal life? So this is all about emotional intelligence. Be assertive and also be empathetic and handle your emotions in a very healthy way. And here we go. Have you ever seen women crying? And some of you may be wondering and you may be laughing. What's Sukanya? But yeah, we've seen, but I would like to understand how often you've seen a woman crying in a family or in your friend circle. Or let's go to the next circle, okay? In a public area. Okay, let's take our workspace, in the office, maybe in the collaboration or recreational area or cafe, or assume we are in a public place like a mall, in a lift space or in parking. Have you ever seen women crying, and how often you've seen? And let me ask, have you ever seen a man crying in public? And if yes, how many times or how often you've seen? Not really, right? Maybe once or twice, but not always, or not much, right? And a participant says, yes, I've seen women cry often and men not often or not at all. That's interesting. Thanks for the responses. And see, what I'm trying to tell you is, again, I'm not stereotyping, but then with our own experiences, what we've seen so far is, yes, the society has or it's mandated, hey, you shouldn't be crying in public. What people will think about you with your gender role, you should be aggressive and masculine and strong. You cannot cry, right? And the women, chumma, you cry, what? Oh, you're watching serial. Oh, serial itself, you're crying. So there are so many stereotypes around it. But then what I'm trying to tell you is, even men are bound to have emotions. And of course, and with high emotional voltage, they will also burst out and they'll also cry. Let men also live like any other human being on the world. Yeah, if they have some low emotions and they would like to cry, if they want to cry it out. Scream if you want to scream out. Give them the freedom. People, in our family, at least from this generation to at least to the next generation, let's teach people it is absolutely okay for a human to cry in front of any other person in an emotional, very high emotional moment. Yeah, and let's not judge. Let's not label anyone. And let's forget about all the stereotypes. Okay, let's tell the younger generation, hey, it's not about the gender. If you're feeling down, cry it out. It's good for you. It's good for your health. At least you won't be in depression. You will not feel stressed. You will not feel helpless. Yeah. So I really want to stress on this piece that let men also live a what do you say, like a free full life without being judged. Yeah. And emotional intelligence is absolutely not about genders, or it is not gender specific. I've written something on the gender role. I'm sure all of us know about it. Gender roles in our society means we are expected or required to act, speak, dress, groom, and conduct ourselves in a very, very particular way based on our assigned sex. And if somebody goes against it, they're being judged. And people are there. Rightfully, they'll be throwing their judgments on you. But then, please remember, we're all human. And at the same time, as individuals are different. And again, to human emotions and how to react in a particular situation with the culture. This is people, condition people. Hey, this is human. That's important. It's emotional intelligence all the time. Like you don't need to fake it all the time to be emotionally intelligent. You do it in that moment. You have to shout at people. If you have to throw stones at somebody, you will have to do that. And emotional intelligence is absolutely not about being nice all the time or constantly asking, go around, take turns and ask, hey, how are you feeling now? And how are you feeling now? Are you feeling better? Are you feeling better? Do you need help? No, it is even not about that. And it is not about giving free limit or control to your feelings. And women have more of it than men. This is again another stereotyping, but there are some supportive research around it, concepts around it. However, let's not again generalize it and fix it genetically or develop only in early childhood. It is the blood, so it's the DNA, it's there in the DNA, nothing of that sort. It can be developed at any point of time. Even after this particular workshop, with a little amount of awareness, even you can even develop your EQ, your emotional intelligence, because we all learn in an experiential way. We learn from our own self with our experiences, or we learn from others. We see, we actually see people and we hear, we listen to them, and from there we take our lessons as well. Here we go, the EI model. As I told you before, I'm not gonna teach you the model as such, okay? So, but this is what it is. I would like to share this with you. So the EI model has 4 different important questions. You see, it is all about self-awareness. Know yourself. What are your trigger points? And how do you manage yourself better? Because I remember in one of my sessions, one person, after one of the trainings, he approached me and he asked me, Sukanya, you know what, with COVID situation and work from home, I'm kind of developed with this irritability syndrome. And I asked, who told you all these terms? No, somewhere I Googled, why you are doing all this? No, I had some, this one, I was unable to control. I know what I was doing, I never wanted to shout at my wifey, but then no control. If she speaks something, this actually gets into an ugly argument. It goes off. I know what I'm doing is so wrong, but then somewhere I'm unable to manage that anger. And can you please help? And I said, see, absolutely. You are doing something wrong. You are self-aware. This is actually bothering or disturbing your self-management, your self-regulation, your control. I absolutely appreciate that it is also disturbing. You've understood that it is also disturbing the relationship with your wife, your family situation. But then Googling something and then from there you want to learn something on your own is not that great idea. If you really think that you need people help, then you need to go through the proper channel, take help from a professional, okay? And what happens is, when we, especially this particular person, he said, see, I see a different version of myself. I'm not this rude, okay? I don't even speak in that higher volume, but somewhere, something has happened to me and I see a different side of myself. Okay, I somehow feel that I'm not having this empathy anymore. I don't even consider but I realize all these, so why I'm trying to tell you is this EA model is all about this. We all know this. At sometimes, with the heat of the moment or the situation, we tend to forget it. But then as human, we all replay things and like replaying and then finding out mistakes, pointing mistakes, do the blame game and everything. We also understand, the relationship is gone, pucha. Okay, so we are aware of this. So what is important to understand at this point in time for this particular section is, what are the different characteristics that you need to focus on? Self-awareness, self-regulation mean how do you control yourself, and what is the motivation for you to do something after that, yeah, in any situation for that matter, be it positive or negative. And how do you be empathetic about the other person, especially understanding why they are reacting in that way, why they are behaving in that way, and with that, your social skills. Yeah, let's not get into the last part because it's a very big topic, but I'm going to discuss about all these in terms of how do you put it into practice. Okay, let's get into some examples. And the first one, I don't know how many of you who've joined here are working mom. If there is any working mom, no, please raise your hand or just say, type your comments. Yeah, let me see if there is one. Yeah, okay, Pretty just raised hand. Okay, even another person. Okay, so working mom, you know what, this happened in I think it was May, April. Yeah, April, May. So we had a working mom camp for India for our own employees. And we had few discussions, you know, the assessments and the post-assessment discussions and the group discussions and all that. That's where we had a questionnaire, and most working women shared this piece. Okay, so the first one was, I remember how much I cried when I left my child for the first time in a daycare, or even when I'm leaving home to work, you know. So each and every day is the same. Okay, so though it's been few months, though it's been, because we had mixed age group and mixed years of experience, new moms and the other side also. Okay, so they mentioned, I still remember how it was before, even now. Okay, so though the kid is growing, the demand from the kid is also growing. Okay, so they expect us to be with them most of the time. And also they mention somewhere, no, it is like the conditioning, Indian society with Indian women. We've been told that mentally conditioned that we are born to take care of the family, born to cook. My own sister, you know, whenever she visit me, say in morning, I make tea, and then she gets into the kitchen, and within half an hour, 45 minutes, no, 45 minutes, the breakfast is on the table. And the same way after 11 or something, I will, if I'll have to search now, I'll directly go to kitchen, I'll find her there, and and she'll be preparing lunch for me. And I'm like, cook பண்றதுக்காக வளர்ந்திருக்கியா, என்ன நீ இந்த cook பண்றதா உனக்கு இதுவா? And she is a central government employee. You see, still it's conditioned. You know, they're been born to take care of the family needs and their kids later on. And there is also this ad, no, recent I've seen this ad. Kind of little disturbed, didn't I? Why you were against stereotyping? And we are still thinking this way. So this Kirakuta, I don't know how many of you remember or how many of you have seen this advertisement. The mom would have given this thing, the Kirakuta, the spinach curry, to the kids. Okay, then the kids will be preparing some supplements. I don't remember the name of the product or something, but then they'll be preparing something for the mom, and then they'll say, hey, you missed it. No, now you have this. And I was like, what? Let me do some changes here. Okay, one day you take the kira kuttu for yourself. Okay, so take that curry for yourself and give that supplement or some alternative for the kids. Okay, or plan it very well. It is not like always you need to compromise on the food, or you will have to only take care of the kids. And this always disturbs me, you know, even being a mom or a working mom, come out of this conditioning. Yeah, you even also have a life and a career outside of this, the family and the needs. Ultimately, this is part of your life as well, your life circle as well. And then they mention one single failure, Sukanya, one simple, one disaster. Okay, one day I boarded the cab, and after 30-40 minutes, it actually takes 1.5 hours for me to reach office. So 30-45 minutes received a call, and my grandma told that this one fell off, okay, and got hurt. And that's it. I couldn't continue. I couldn't go to office because this kept bothering me. Okay, I was in a very dilemma because I had some important meetings at office, and I kept thinking, like, should I go back? Should I go back? Should I go back? And with the same thing, I reached office even after going to work, you know. So I was thinking, what about the priorities? What about the priorities? But I couldn't focus. So immediately I went to my manager and I told, you know what? I'm going home because this has happened. Because somewhere, even after me, with so many years of experience, that tenuity in the same organization, being a top performer for quite a long time in the same role, this actually came up as, what do you say, a mental block for that particular day. I couldn't work on anything. I couldn't focus on anything. And I simply asked myself on my way back, why am I even doing this? Because I felt really very bad that one, my own kid is hurt and I'm not there to take care of him. Instead, I'm away from home, say 2 hours, say 1.5 hours to 2 hours. And what am I even doing here? What is my priority? Am I even a mom? Now, what people will think of? Forget about what people will think of. Okay. Now, what will I do if he is having fever, or should I go shout at my mother-in-law? Why even if I shout at her, how she'll take care of my kid the next day? So I'll have to work on all this. I'm dependent. I'm helpless. So many things, right? One single failure or a disaster in parenting, she's ridden with guilt. Okay, so all these came up as the discussion. And what was the thing that I told them? Come on. Okay, so there is a latest study on stay-home moms versus working moms. Okay, let's see what's the interesting piece. What we fail to understand, such failures or mistakes can happen to any mother either way, right? Either stay home or working mom. And again, somehow the mother has to come out of this guilt and take things as they are. Happened, happened. So what I'll have to do? Be strong, okay? Think, okay, so what is my first priority? Can I handle this piece of work? And can I check? Because if I have a trustworthy support system at back home, I have a very good interpersonal, the relationship with that person, then I need not to worry, right? So what you will have to do is, instead of blaming yourself or blaming someone else, do the groundwork, ensure that you build the support system. And for all these, what is so important is understand your emotions. If you're only reacting when things come up, like a repair system, you don't proactively plan all these because you don't have the emotion before. Only after the kid is sick is when you have the emotion. You've got this guilt thing or the pain on you, the label on you, and you are like, oh my God, how will I repair this? How will I even come out of this? How will I even fix it? Only at that moment you are start thinking about what should be the solution, or how are you going to fix it. Again, you're only looking at the temporary solution. So what you will have to ideally do is, emotionally, yes, of course, it is hurting. So who's actually hurt in this place is the kid. As a mom, yes, you will have to be there. Okay, if something happens like this, how will you even handle this? Think of all this. So if you'll have to handle this in a very strong way, you need to be emotionally, psychologically strong to make decisions. Because if it is only emotional based decisions, then you're going to end up only in repairing the system and only looking at the temporary solution. In terms of giving, what should be the reply? I'll have to give it to my husband or whoever is out of or away from home. You're only looking at a temporary solution. So this was my response to them. So what's the learning from this? Instead of blaming yourself or others when things go wrong, you learn how to see situations more objectively, okay? And you take the personal responsibility as appropriate, because the emotion that triggered your action, that is kind of helping you. Or even the root cause for that particular emotion itself is balancing you. Okay, and that is not pushing you for a temporary solution, that is still keeping you at balance and enabling you to think, okay, how do I go further? Okay, and how do I go fix it for a long time? So that's how you handle such situations emotionally so well. And this happened with one of my friends who is a professional, a doctor, and he is a special in a special ward, the COVID-19 ward, in one of the famous hospitals of Chennai. Okay, I think it was the peak hour. I don't know what was the month or something, but then it was the peak COVID time. Okay, and he had this status, and he mentioned, "I am in a dark room. I don't want to. I'm here for so many hours. I don't even want to turn on the light. I'm so depressed. I don't want to even talk to anyone. It is so depressing. It is so depressing," something like that, you know. After looking at the message, okay, the status especially, I didn't want to call that person because he has already put that on, say, hey, I'm in a room alone, all alone. I don't want to even turn on the light, meaning, you know, you don't want to get disturbed by anyone. immediately, but I wanted to support him. I wanted to help him immediately. What I did was, again, with the technology, with the applications that we have. So I thought, okay, why not send a message on WhatsApp? Okay, so I sent a voice note. I asked him only one. I absolutely understand what you are going through. Okay, however, we all know for a fact that you are so strong. You are a role model to so many people. Your early life, how you've got into this role, we all know how much you put in for this and how strong you are, how beautifully you've handled the other situations and everything. And I'm sure you will also handle this. I'm not doubting you. I'm not doubting your potential. But you know what? We are all here. We are all counting on you. We are unable to go out and help anybody for that matter, especially the COVID patients. You are a gifted soul. You are there for people's service in the ground, and you are fixing this for us. We are all grateful for you, and we are all counting on you. That's very, very important. And as a friend, I would like to give you a message. And that message is, I want to ask you only one question. Think, next week, same day, same time, will you be doing the same thing? In a room, in a dark room, all alone for hours and hours? Will you? Think, next month, same day, same time, will you be doing the same thing? Next year, will you be doing the same thing? Absolutely not, right? We would have moved on. If you are agreeing, Ama, I would have moved on. Ama, yeah, morning I'll have to go report to work, right? Especially COVID duty, you will have to go report. Then why are you even doing it? I'm absolutely agree. You are a human, you need the space. You even want to burst out of emotions and all that. But then please don't take much time on this. Okay, rest. What is so important for you is good sleep, eat well, yeah, sleep well, and whatever is your stress buster, just engage yourself with that. But remember, we are there for you. This was the message I sent. Yeah, and after a while, he called me up and he told, so Kanya, thank you so much for that. Okay, so was wondering what to do. The COVID death, it handle all fatal cases today. As a doctor in my profession, I've not seen so many cases in a day, people collapsing just in front of me. So it actually shook me away, So I was so down, depressed. You helped me. Your message also helped me. I absolutely agree that, yes, we all learn from our ups and lows of lives, right? And he agreed that particular emotion, on the positive side, helped him understand how strong he is. Yeah, I'm sure all of you can understand this. Many a times we make few decisions emotionally. Many a times we don't even come to that position, because this is what we call about self-control. Self-awareness is okay, but self-control, how do you control yourself? Because few moments, it's out of control. Things just blow up. You don't even know how to control this, because your emotions are so high. You have an emotional blockage. You don't know how to even react, what to do next and all that. And there you actually need directions, again, about emotional intelligence. So how this particular situation has helped this person, a professional, doctor by profession. Obviously this particular incident would have told him that he should be more self-regulative, and his profession is so important to the society. And I'm sure he would have realized that it is another tough day and move on, right? And this is how you handle. Again, we can even relate to the same similar situation. Again, I would like to quickly talk about a student who called me during, again, a peak COVID period, okay? And this person was telling that I have abusive parents, yeah? And there is so much of domestic abuse and everyday quarrels, shoutings, and I'm unable to focus and I'm unable to study anything. I'm preparing for some government examination and I want a quiet place. And this person was checking with me, ma'am, is there a place, a hostel or something? Can you arrange something for me? Because I would like to go out of my house or go away from my home. Okay, I don't want to even return. All the abuses I'm unable to handle. I ask that person. I'm not asking you to nullify your emotions. Okay, ask yourself whether you are self financially supportive. If you are good, that you first connected with me and you are having this discussion. Okay, I asked, what is the financial arrangement? Who will be taking care of you? Who will ensure that you get 3 meals every day? Who's there for you? Who's handling this? You are still a student. So ask these questions, and immediately this person started thinking, yeah, not even thought about it. I have something, but then it is not enough for a long, right? I'm still dependent. Then why? The person started thinking, no? So emotional intelligence is very, very important. This is where we need to train people. If you are somebody, okay, if someone is reaching you, or if you are somebody, you've been in those situations, and if you've reacted in a different way or something, please revisit your own behavior. Have some self-reflections, replay, recall those situations, and ask yourself, why? Given a chance, can I redo it in a different way? Yeah, is there a possibility to replay and redo it? Ask yourself, how would you even be control or self control in that particular situation, and to control of the situations to handle it better? Think, people. So the learning, maybe from the two scenarios that I shared, you also learn how to recognize and process your emotions with the long-term wellness in the mind, rather than acting immediately upon your feelings in the heat of the moment. You don't take decisions emotionally. Yeah, because at times we do that and we regret. And then this quick kind of sensitive topic to discuss. This is again one of my friends from the LGBT community. This is all about the coming out process. Some of you who may not know what is coming out for them, I've written. So it is refers to the process that people who are the LGBTQ, so they go through as they work to accept that their sexual orientation or their gender identity, and they decide that they share this with openly with the other people. Yeah, especially with the family first. And again, it is not the same thing, guys. It's very, very personal, very extremely personal. They decide who they'll have to share this with. Should they share this with the parents first, or the students, the friends first, or the relatives? It's purely their decision. And again, the process itself is so much of emotions and emotional roller coaster. Yeah, and because the emotions when coming out may range from scared and anxious to elated and relieved. Okay, end result is always relieved, but at times, no, some of them have reported that even after telling the world, so I belong to this community, it is not still giving them the relief. The reason is, after they announce it to the world, see, before even they announce it to the world, with their appearance or their personal choices, their dress or the way they act and all that, no, the cruel people around, who can't even understand people are different individual, their sexual orientations are something different, gender identity itself is a problem for few people don't understand these things. They make fun of them, they public shame them, they bully them, they tease them, they harass them and all that. So that itself is a painful phase. When they're coming out and they are announcing it to the world, at least to their family, it is even more painful, because we don't know how the receiving end is treating them, or after that, how they're going to treat them. So there is so much, right? And again, ask them about the emotions, how they've been approached by people, what sort of emotions they have. When somebody is accepting them for who they are not straight. Yeah. So how they've been received by the other people, and what sort of happiness they are getting, and what are their different emotions they go through. Ask them about it. That's the reason I mentioned it's completely a roller coaster thing for them. Yeah. And this particular friend, he prepared for coming out. Again, as I mentioned, it's a process. Okay, so he didn't want to tell the parents, talk to them in front. He decided to write it out completely. He prepared everything, some number of pages, wrote everything in Tamil. Again, this person is from down south, wrote everything. Yeah, very traditional, very orthodox family. He shared it with the mother first, and then he gave two prints. Okay, so first told the mother, gave the letter, and told the father that I've made a decision and I want you to read this first. Okay, not easy. And the thing that's come on the documentaries or in movies, no, so it's cinematic. Let's not even go there. Okay, let's in the real, at least I know only one case. Okay, so what happened? It took, please don't even think it's hours and hours, days and days to days to for the parents to read and understand. The mother was asking, what is LGBTQ? Say it in Tamil. Then this person has to help them understand. Then he brought them together and then he started explaining what it is, what it feels like for this person. And assume, okay, so a human like us has to explain that his gender identity is something different and his sexual orientation is something different, and he has made a choice already, but then now announcing. Okay, and after so many weeks or something, then the mom first accepted it. The father was not, and he said, no, you will have to go, you will have to go out. If you can be my son, stay with me. Okay, if not, you are leaving the house. That's it, that's my decision. But then the mother was like, no, I want you in any case, you know, so I want you to be here, so live your life the way you want. Then this mother took some steps, and this mother facilitated those discussions between the father and son, and of course it was a happy ending. Both of them agreed to. And another thing, he said, see, I even have a partner. So I told my parents, not immediately, but then I have a partner in Bangalore. So maybe down the line, few years, I'll be even announcing my marriage. Okay, could be a shocker. But then he told, yeah, trust your emotions and the process. Focus on the results. Tell yourself that you are doing something finally for yourself. Finally. Okay, you have only this moment, only this chance. Do it fully, politely, listen properly. This person told all these to himself, and he told, you can live your life without fear. You don't need to fake anything around. And we all have one life to live. So this was his own self-reflection, and this is how he approached, and he has succeeded. It's all because the emotion that he had before, how he felt about himself, started from there. And of course, the bottom line is leave people to live their life. Never make any human, any other person to feel bad about themselves. Emotional intelligence is all about understanding your emotions and at the same time being empathetic towards others. Being empathetic towards others in terms of what is the agenda, the objective. If you are working in an organization and assuming handling a work situation, there also you will have to be emotionally intelligent. Though the other person is shouting, making some remarks and all that, you will have to have this the clarity that, okay, it is just the frustration. Okay, fine. So again, whatever he's quoting, no, that 1, 2, 3 points is on the process. Absolutely, he's not challenging me. Okay, and he is not accusing me as an individual. No, it is only, he is only saying the process is wrong, the system is wrong. Okay, separate. Okay, always challenge ideas and never challenge people, because this can trouble your interrelationship with people. And most importantly, even in a very worst situation, okay, ensure that you don't react in an ugly way and treat everyone with humanity, because that's what you would also expect from the other person, isn't it? So be a human. That's very, very important. And you don't need to be a superhuman for this. Emotional intelligence is, again, not just because of the negative events, or we are not for finding to fix up a solution or something. Even in a very positive situation, assume you've won something. Okay, so you won something or you won an award. In that situation also, be composed, be polite, be humble. Okay, don't go around and brag and tell the world, you know what, see, I've done something, you know what, you're not capable of doing that. No, stay humble, stay grounded. And there is something called as delay of gratification. You can still do that. Okay, so you go and tell her, yeah, we've done it. Instead, they're like, yeah, we've done it. And there is so much to come, so many more to come. Yeah, I'm very proud that we've done this. Still stay grounded like Taladoni. What I'm trying to tell you is, how do you handle situations emotionally and be empathetic towards others and still be humble and grounded with your actions and reactions and the assurance and reassurance you give to people that you are a great human. I think with that, we are well equipped. But then I would like to give the last message here. Yes, emotional intelligence can't change your circumstances. Absolutely, it's not going to change the world around you. It will be the same. People will remain the same. Again, people are different. The situations will be different. There will be some new pressing situations. Out of the blue, there will be something new for you as a surprise and a shock. However, when you are emotionally intelligent, it will still change your responses. It will still make you to feel or are at peace, because you are not so stressed, because you know how to balance your emotions, how to manage anger, how you can handle people with your own prioritization skills, yeah, and also with absolute respect and trust. Yeah. With this, we are done with the session. And if you have any questions, please post. Yes, Lakshmi. How does one get consistent with their emotional intelligence? I often find myself being good with it some days and not so good on other days. Yes, beautiful. I told you, no. So we cannot be the same. Even you say that some days and not so good on the other days. It can even be on the same day for some of you, right? So it's not like you are wearing a dress today and you will be the same until you go to your bed. No, this will get changed. Okay, so now how we will be consistent. One, what I tell my people is be organized. That's very, very important. Okay, know your priorities for the day. If you are Janani, if you are somebody who's working, okay, or somebody who's managing the home, know yourself, like what different things, the deliverables, your priorities, the to-do activities. Ensure that you know it all. Okay, and when you are organized, no, it is so easy to balance everything. And you can ask me, so can I forget about deliverables? How do I even manage my people? So simple. You know what? Only the people around you, they teach everything to us. There could be some instance where you are losing your control. It's okay. Come on. Yeah, it's okay. You are unable to balance it. But then you know what? You will have to realize, okay, such situations I am unable to balance. Okay, then you take one step back and ask yourself, what's the trigger? Okay, is it the other person? Okay, who's the person? If it's the person, what is my relation with that person? What is my equation with that person? Okay, this maybe. Okay, this equation. But what happened in the past? Do I have any past history with the person? Okay, do I have any unsolved cases with that person? Maybe that's the reason I'm reacting this way. Maybe the other person is reacting this way. Now find out, how do you even solve it? And most importantly, forgiveness is the best exercise for anyone to be consistent with your emotional intelligence. Yeah, never shame yourself. Yeah, and never curse yourself. And do not carry that self baggage. Many times people say, see, self-pity other ஒரு side. Say, I am pavam, I don't know anybody, I am the problem. This is one side of it. And the other extreme, no? So there we are like, how did I even do it? How did it? It would have been 30 days. 1 month, and you are still talking about it. Forget it, man. If it is somebody else, you will say, Vidappa, it's okay, no problem at all. You don't need to be formal. It's okay. You are so kind. Please do the same thing to yourself also. Be kind to yourself. Give that extra care to yourself. It's okay. Forgive. But then if it comes to people, please remember what I told you. The equation, if there is any unresolved one or any ugly past bitter experiences, understand and always ask whether it is important for you to solve those things, go ahead and solve those things. And if you think, illappa, very simple one, not even often, forget it. Forget it, just move on. It's a learning, and you understood that these sort of people could trigger you. These sort of things can trigger you. Okay, understand that's important for you. And learning is always a continuous process. And emotional intelligence also, with your maturity, as you are aging, as you are encountering new people every day, it's keep growing. You keep develop this skill.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing,
Super.
amazing. Suganya, every single anecdote that you came up with all through your presentation today has been so much so, live examples that people have been able to relate to. On these notes, there's one quick question also we have. It says, can you give us your personal experience of being in a misplaced optimism? Because, people say be optimistic and all that. Many times it so happens there could be a misplaced optimism. And how did you manage it, or even something related to these things? So misled optimism, a misplaced optimism, and how do you bounce back? If you can just let us know about
Ask me about it. Come on, ask me about it, people. You know what? So positive, right? We are like, yeah, positive, be positive. So this happens. I was trying for my project. Okay, so I was part of a global leadership development program, and part of that was to handle a 6 months project for different sites. Was trying for something, and in the meantime, so I was very particular. I was so focusing on one thing. I spoke to one of the personnel in Michigan. Okay, so I worked with the VP, and I only wanted to work with her. Okay, so that was my priority, and was working back and forth with the mobility and everything. And I was like, yeah, all that. But someday, the other people, they've got their discussion and they got the deals, even the visas and everything was ready, and I couldn't complete it. I was so positive that this will take off, but all of a sudden, the project owner, that person came and said, the cost seems to be so high. I don't know if in immediate, I don't think, probably you consider this for the next one. You please start looking at something. Okay, so I was so optimistic. And I even told myself, it's okay, no problem. In case if I'm unable to get one, for international site or on-site arrangement, it's okay. I will settle with something domestically, no problem at all. Ella okay, but then this COVID came in between, played a very bad basketball, volleyball, and all that in my life. And you know what? The next option couldn't happen at all. Okay, right. Staying positive is good, but always be smart. Be smart. That's the lesson I learned. Okay, and then I thought, okay, so I'm going to settle here. Okay, what is that I can do? Or pick up something best for me. So that's how I worked it out. But it was a very good lesson for me that look at like what is easy, the quick wins for you. Okay, so that's how I started planning. Hope I answered your question.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. That was really wonderful. Thank you for such a insightful, easily implementable points that you kind of said, starting from organizing to ensuring you have a plan B in place, which will be quick fixes. Thank you so much, Suganya. I'm sure our audience also, enjoyed this wonderful session. Thank you again.
Thanks a lot. My pleasure, always. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So tomorrow in our Breakthrough Thoughts segment, we will have two eminent speakers from Sodexo. Leah Dango, segment director heading the pharmaceuticals, FMCG segment and industrial segment, covering 200 plus sites, spreading over 10 states, and has approximately 10,000 plus staff reporting under her leadership. Pradeep Chavda. Pradeep is currently the HR director of Sodexo India, managing one of the largest workforces for the company with over 47,000 employees covering 8 major regions. We'll have both speakers talk about their DEI practices at Sodexo and on their concerted efforts in not just embedding DEI within the organization, but also outside the company, has helped building a strong ecosystem that fosters inclusion. We look forward to having you all join us tomorrow at 4 p.m. for the session. Also, catch the agenda for the rest of the week at our portal myavatar.com. Once again, on behalf of Team Avatar and myavatar.com, I thank each one of you and welcome you to the rest of Diversity Mahotsav through December. Once again, we would like to thank our partners, ideology partners, Cognizant, HTL Technologies Limited, Stripe, supporting partners for Asia India Private Limited, Logitech Engineering and Designs India Private Limited, Saint Gobain India Private Limited, Sodexo and Zorian Solutions, and community partner NASCOM. Our social media hashtags are hashtag Diversity Mahotsav, hashtag Celebrating Diversity. Do post your experience at Diversity Mahotsav on your social media handles with the hashtags. If you haven't registered yourself at myavatar.com, please log on today to myavatar.com and register yourself. Explore various opportunities and activities at our portal that celebrates diversity. Browse through to find jobs that might suit your skill sets, read articles of interest, and upskill yourselves through various webinars conducted exclusively for you. Do join us tomorrow sharp at 4 p.m. for yet another insightful session. You can also view the Diversity Mahotsav series on our YouTube channel, Avatar, the Power of Diversity. The link is posted in the chat box. In case you missed our previous days, please do click on the YouTube link to watch our previous episodes. This is Sridevi signing off. Till then, have a great evening, mask up, and stay safe.